So this morning, what we did in the stream this morning was to add the concept of backspin. What we're having right now is these two lines here, where one line represents our topspin trajectory, which is what the AI is hitting all the time. So right now the AI is only hitting topspin, while the green line represents our backspin trajectory. Ooh, this is interesting. There are a couple of things that at the moment I'm not convinced or super happy. There is one thing in the way we're calculating the spin that is not strictly correct, and then I'm going to fix now. I don't expect to bring us a lot of changes. Let me grab 1 second the chat from YouTube. Just DLS, everything. Yeah. That's gonna be the solution to everything. AI is gonna fix everything. Apply. Here we go. Hey, Aris, I didn't see that it was you. I saw the message. How are you? Mitico Aris. You didn't recognize. I just saw the message. I was doing stuff in OBS. I didn't see. I saw it now. Right. Okay. Right. So, what I was saying is that at the moment we are not really calculating our Magnus force correctly. So the Magnus force is this thing that changes. It's basically like an additional force on the ball that pushes the ball down if it is topspin and pushes the ball up if it is backspin. And you can imagine the situation where so what we're doing right now, we are just applying this force completely vertical. So it's either going vertical this way or it's going vertical that way. It's not really working like that in reality. So in reality, what is happening is that it's perpendicular to the direction of travel. So in this part of the trajectory, the Magnus force is actually going to kind of want to slow down the ball. So it's going to go that direction. Sorry, this direction. So I want to accelerate the ball if it is topspin. And if we are in this part of the trajectory of the topspin, right, it's going to want to slow down the ball. So it's going to do that. And the opposite for the backspin. Doing great. Good to see you live. Yeah, I'm having fun. So we're going to fix this. This is going to be, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to write the codes in the most inefficient way possible, and then eventually I'll figure out how to speed it up a little bit. So basically this is the guy. So at the moment we're just adding it as a component of gravity. But we're not gonna do that. So we're gonna add the gravity as we should, like that, without the spin component, right? And then we're going to calculate the direction, and the direction is going to be so we're going to have our spin right vector is going to be our velocity cross. Okay, as I said, let's not do it. Let's do it in a very inefficient way, right? So y-axis. Okay, and then our spin vector, right, is gonna be the spin component. It's gonna be our spin right vector. Spin right vector. Spin component, and then result velocity plus equal spin vector, right? So the only thing that we have to check now is if we got the sign, the order of this one correct. I always get this. I never bother to do this math properly. I just launch it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, so if it's backward, we should see the yellow. Oh, oof, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I think we created the monster. All right, what's going on here? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, okay. We're missing quite important element. Try again. Not really. What the hell is going on? It's now a side spin. So instead of being a top, is a side spin. What did I do? So velocity cross axis, we get the right vector. Okay. And then we need to cross it again. Right? And then we need to cross it again with, and then we need to do, so let's do a velocity normalized. Normalized. Maybe I already have it. No, but oh, okay. Okay, I can optimize this, but it's fine. So velocity normalized. So here's velocity normalized. So velocity normalized cross with this spin right vector. Normalize again. Also this normalize again. We don't care. You know, we will make it fast later. Okay, this should work. This is not acceptable. Stefano getting very cross with the velocity. That was interesting, the side spin. Suddenly the side spin is not all right. So we got it wrong. Right, we got it backwards. Which is fun. So like Aris knows really well. Just stick a minus somewhere. So we either do this, or we can, so we do this, right? And it's gonna fix. This is the fix to most bug in Assetto Corsa. Start putting minus. So true, right? Put a minus sign somewhere. There you go. Until you know, they submit to. The AI is so stupid when it does that. So, what are you doing? Right, okay. Also, the AI being stupid is a very familiar sight with Assetto Corsa. All right, so now we have our trajectory that is actually applying the Magnus force properly. So I would say I'm gonna commit this as backspin kind of working. Not really, but I want to move on. There are a couple of things, so I want to show you what the problem is. So one of the problems that we're having is the so what is happening right now is that I'm putting a limit on how high the ball, how high we can send the ball. And if I don't do that, I'm starting to get rallies that look a lot like moonballing back and forth, which is not great. So if I remove the limits, we're starting, let's see if I can reproduce it. We're going to get more and more. It doesn't look like it's working. I think because the speed of the shots went up, but it's like I can't push my shot deep enough. So something is broken. Something is broken. So that's long. This long. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a moon ball, but it's doable. Yeah, let's see the backspin. Obviously, I don't have the animation for the backspin. So the animation is still of a normal shot. Also, occasionally I was getting, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. I think it's all good. That's all good. That's all good. Let's not be too... Right. Okay. So, what we do? Let's put it back as it was. Now we have these lines that we're showing. They are very cool. But we probably want to have like a command to have that. So init inputs, let's create a command for that. So input manager, add command button key, and we call it ball. So let's call it toggle ball lines. I don't want to write trajectory, although I'm writing trajectory everywhere. So trajectory. 3 months from now, I'm going to look for this. I will never find it. Key code T for trajectory. And key code control left. Right. So we have our command, and in update, we're getting close to the point where we probably want to start to consider the idea to have some kind of update commands or something like that. But for now, let's stick it in here. If self input manager clicked toggle ball trajectory, self show ball trajectory equals not equal self show ball trajectory, which we don't have at the moment, and we create it equals no. Okay, we go here, and this is the bool, and actually, you know what, we can put it in here. Right, we have a structure, so we can do like is active bool, right? And it's nice because it's defaulting to false, so that's good. Toggle ball. So it's gonna be debug is active debug trajectory is active. Cool. And then when we render it, so first of all, if self debug trajectory is active, and this, we bother to calculate the trajectory, otherwise we don't. And also the debug, no? So if self debug trajectory is active, we render it. Cool, that should work. No, we still have a problemo. Where are we? Tennis lever, show trajectory. Yeah, we deleted it. We don't need this. Right. So no ball trajectory. Control T. Bang. Trajectory. Perfect. Okay. I don't like it actually. I really like this trajectory. That's cool. So toggle ball trajectory. Fair enough. So let's say that we did this backspin shot, even if we're not totally happy. Shot speed as a skill. So we either do this, or I could chill 1 second, which is not a bad idea, because what I wanted to do, okay, I need to do a couple of things. Need to do a couple of boring things. So right now, what is happening is that every time we have to go through this, so we have to go through this screen, select what we're doing, press start, and then load. The loading at the moment is not fantastic because we're loading straight from GLB, which is not super fast, and there's nothing we can do about it, right? So eventually, once we will have, once I will write a dedicated file format, it could be fast. You know, I still have to decide. You know, it could be something that I'd only use when I release a game. We'll see. Anyway, I don't want to go through this all the time. Okay? So again, this is something that I have familiar, you know, stuff from Assetto Corsa, hydrofoil generation and stuff. So the idea is to have something that can bypass that. But before we do that, in order to do that, we need to save the match, the UI situation. So how it works, this thing. So we have a launcher, right? And the launcher has something that is called UI data. And this is like the state of all the choices that the player makes. So imagine a situation where we will be progressing in the game. It's all gonna be there, right? It's gonna be this UI mem. So at the moment, it's got the data for the next match, which is data for the players, data for, you know, the kind of court that we're gonna use and what kind of match we're gonna play. Okay, so for now we can probably ignore those, but moral of the story is that we need a save. Let's put a file name, right? and we save this. So it's going to be ini file. So we're going to do, I always forget how to do this stuff. F, so file is going to be standard fs file create file name. Let's put a return as a stud. What is it? IO. What is create returning? Is it returning IO result? Yeah. IO result. Okay, so we can do this. Okay, and here we can return some, sorry, okay. All right. So we got the file, then we need the, the writer, right? Writer, which is a stud write, no, stud.io buffer writer new, and we pass the file. Variable doesn't have to be mutable. Nice. I didn't know. How about the writer? Maybe because we didn't use it yet. All right. So what I really want to save here is the training situation. All right. Where are we? I'm lost. All right. So let's go with right line writer match type. Fair enough. And then we can go, we can match on next match data match type. And go, if it is a match, right? We write type match. Okay. And if it is a training, we're gonna need something. I think we're gonna do write ln. I think we need, so for sure we're going to write there is a training. So for sure we're going to write type training, right? But then we're not done. We need to write what type of training it is, right? So write ln, and we're going to need something in that trait. So type training, and then we see we write something like training kind equal training trait, and here we create a new thing that is like description or something like that, or something like kind string. Let's write exactly what it is. This is an ini description. Right, that's how we're going to use it. Right, so let's add this. We don't have. Okay. No, we have to write it ourselves. That's fine. Training trait. So our training traits, we add this fn any description, and we return a str. All right. So we just implement it. So implement. So this is none. And training rally is rally. Fair enough. What's wrong here? Cannot write into buffer writer files. Items from trait can only be used if the trait is in scope. Yes. Where is it? Use studs IO right. Is something a little bit annoying about Rust, but it's fine. Match arm having compatible types. Could be this. Is it? Yep. What do you want? Is it because I have to do this? Right. Okay. So that's our save function for this super simple thing. We could also add some stuff. So we could add the court data stuff, right? And we could write the court number, for example, right there. Court number equal self next match data, court number. Okay, that sounds at the moment what we really do, right? So the idea is that when we just before we launch the game, so just before we launch the game, we do this, and before we launch the game, we save the UI memory. Save, right? And we save it with for now we can save it in the folder of the UI mem ini, right? Sounds reasonable. So I start with the, let's say with the match, start, close, and go into the where we're running. And we have hopefully UI mem, here it is. And it says type match court number 1. Cool. All right. So next. UI mem is fn load and its file name stir, and we return option self. Let's be like correct option or a result, standard IO result self. Fair enough. What is the tech stack? Pure Rust and Vulkan, yes. So yeah, Vulkan and Rust, yes. So what we do here is we load the ini. So what is it? Ini file, open file name, okay. Then what we could do is, the problem is that we have to create so much stuff. How do we do this? Because here we do, okay, I can do this. All right, hold on. So I can do this. I can do let mutable mem, right, is UI mem new. So we start with this, right? Okay, mem. I don't have much experience in game. The graphic looks very nice. Thank you for the amount of code that you have. Wait, you don't know how much code I have. Does Vulkan have some UI graphics like Unity or something? No, but okay. So I don't know if you know something called IamGUI. So IamGUI is a UI that is usually made to do editors or stuff like that programmers really like, because it's easy to integrate into your own engine and do stuff quickly when you need to put something on screen to understand what's going on. No? So something like an editor like this. So what I'm using here, hopefully this is running. So all this UI that you see here, there's got lots of nice stuff, like, for example, things to do the colors and so on. That's something called IamGUI. Right? So it's very good to do this kind of UIs. Okay. Now, what I'm doing for this kind of UI is basically using IamGUI for rendering, but basically I'm building like another layer on the top of it that allows me to do things that look more like a game UI. If that makes sense. And the amount of code is, let's see. For now, it does really basic stuff. And it's around, to do that kind of stuff is almost 1,000 lines of code. So it's not a lot. Yeah. But for now, that's very, very simple things. All right, so we have our thing here. So what we want to do now is change so what we want to do is memory next match data match type is going to be what? So we're going to match on, first thing, we're going to match on any find string match type. right? And we unwrap it because we are brutal. Okay. So what we're going to say here is that if it is a match, then it's easy. We return match type match. If it is training, we have to go further. And we go match ini find string match type, and we get the training kind, right? And we match this with rally is gonna create a match type training. I forgot how to do this. This, I'm not 100% happy for now how I create this stuff, because I'm not convinced that this is the place to do it in the UI to create this. So to call this guy. Right. And then none is going to be none. Right. And then we need the wildcard for the errors, which is this one is going to be a panic match type, match kind invalid, right? And it's going to be the X, okay? And then for this guy, again, X is going to be match type invalid. Option str. Shit, because I need to. Can I do this? I think I can't, right? Yeah, I can't. So I think I need to unwrap this. We will see if I have errors, if problems arise with this. Okay. So okay, all good. All good. All right, so we can load it now. And we can also set the court type. Mem court data. Next match data, court number is any. Find int. Find int. Find, come on, it's Rust, man. I32. Court data. Court number. Unwrap or 1. As you says. Okay. One thing that we need to check, I think, is I don't think I want to do this. I want to do, imagine a situation when a user is launching the game for the first time. So if we have the file, the ini file, then we do the thing. So we create the default. Then if we have the file, we do this. Okay. That sounds very good. So now when we do the new of the launcher, shit, we have to do other stuff. We are not done. So let UIMem is UIMem load UIMem.ini, and we have to unwrap it. Actually, at this point, this can just return self, right? Because if the file is not there, we return that. So there is no question mark anywhere. So this is always going to return, or panic because the file is wrong. Okay, but if the file is not there, it's just returning. So we don't need to unwrap this. The problem right now is that we need to set the form to reflect what we see, and that's really difficult. That's really difficult. Well, code type should be easy. So the code will look something like, so our form, so it will look something like form spinner court number unwrap selected index is going to be UIMem next match data court number -1. Cannot assign data. Ah, shit, we need a spinner mute. Spinner mute. 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 Right. And that should work. So spinner mute. All right. Okay, and then the form spinner mute sp match type. For now, because we don't have the other match type, we can do selected index equal match UIMem next match data match type, and we match on. So training is going to be 0 and match is going to be 1. Right? So if I run it, access ini file part of some Rust standard library. No, I wrote it myself. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. All right, so for example, so we already see that it's working, right? Because the default is training. And now it's loading match. So we change it to training and we go court 3 and we start. Right? Exit, run it again. Court 3 training. That's all good. Okay, but that's not what we wanted to do. What we want to do now is to be able to launch straight into the game, right? So I don't want to go through that. So how are we going to do that? So what the final task is going to be something like this. So we're going to create a new task. That is launch tennis, run tennis, no launcher, right? Where we're gonna have I have to go and check how I did this in hydrofoil generation, how I pass command arguments. Oh, I really don't know how I did this. How I did this. Because this command argument is passed to the to cargo, right? To cargo run. So how I pass to the, all right, let's go. How to pass arguments to cargo run. Okay. To pass argument to your program. Okay, so like this. Okay. So, okay, cargo run. So can I just write it like this? That no launcher. Yeah, but it was in here. No launcher. Right. Okay, and now I have to do all the dance to read the command argument, which I don't remember how to do it, but we just go and grab the code that in hydrofoil generation was doing exactly the same thing. So AGS, old hydrofoil generation, source code, probably main was already doing this. So blah, 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 blah. Somewhere, no launcher, here it is. Is no launcher. All right, so let's go. So somewhere in our main, what we do, this could be tricky because we have this init function. So first of all, let's see if this works. Okay, so yeah, we need, where is that arg? Where is args? Args. Oof. Collect. All right. And this is qualified. Yeah, okay. There should be a fine, no? Without having to go through that. Yeah. All right. Okay. So can I do let init func? Expected to return box dynamic level by returns box launcher. As then reference, no, as dynamic level. Cast to unsize type launcher. As box to dynamic level. Or implementation FMUT is not general enough. Closure with signature FN. Che palle. Che palle. So annoying. Yeah. This is not just Rust insanity. This is Rust plus the real responsible of this bullshit is the people working on something called Winit, which it never won anything and it never win anything. And I hate the thing. Can I go around this? This is so annoying. Jesus. This is so annoying. Init func is a box of a dynamic mutable FM game returning a box. Can I copy this? Can I make it really explicit what that thing is? Say, look, this is this. I need to copy the entire. Where are we? Okay. To copy also this. It works. So probably I don't have to do that either. Look at me wrestling Rust into submission. Yes, there you go. Finally something that really annoys me, but there you go. See, I solved it already. I'm too good. there is since we saw some an interview to Roger Federer that, you know, we keep repeating and laughing, me and my wife. Do you know how I can find it, my love? That interview. You're gonna find it for me? Okay. Chucks is gonna find it for me. Okay, so but let's see, because we're not done yet. Because the question is, if, so the point is that we want to do if is no launcher, right? Then we give a closure. Otherwise, we give this one. Right? So expected type bool found. All right, okay. No launcher is some. Yeah, that's exactly what we want to do, right? So instead of launching this, what we want to do is launching the tennis level. And what the tennis level wants is a match data. And to get the match data, we do UIMem, load. You got it? Where it is. I'm extremely talented. Copy message link. Beautiful. No, what the fuck is this? No, 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 no. That's not what I want to do. Come here. No. Come on, you can do this. Let's go. Why it takes ages to start?
How do you actually keep doing it year after year, Grand Slam after Grand Slam? I mean, you make it look so easy, and obviously it isn't. How do you keep doing it?
Yeah, look, there's no secret behind it, you know. I mean, definitely a very talented player. And I always...
Every time we talk, I tell my wife, obviously, a very talented programmer. All right, UIMM. So we load this. It's private. Okay. And then we pass in UIMM. Jesus. Next match data. That's it. So, in theory, right. So, in theory, run tennis no launcher should put us straight into the game without passing through the main UI, which is what I want. Such a talented programmer. Okay, is it? We're missing this probably. Come on, you can do this. It's working. All right, okay. So we are in training on court 3. So if I go back here and we change to court 2 match start, then we quit and no launcher. We are on court 2 playing a match. All good. All good. All working. All right. Okay, cool. Cool. Next. Okay, let me do this. So load and save UIMM. That's good. Okay. So next, probably we can chill 1 second, and what we can do is explore my ability as a graphic designer. And what we're gonna need, we just need a training cone. So I don't know if I can do this. This could be really bad. All right, okay, do we have a cone? Yes, we have a cone. That's a good start. All right. Can I... Can I change the... How does this work? There must be a way to change... There must be a way to change... There must be a way to change the parameters of the shit, right? If I wanted a different, ideally what I would like is to be able to change the radius here and kind of cap it up here. Number of segment is on the collapse menu on the bottom left. Add cone. This one? Ah, there you go. That's exactly what I was looking for. Fantastic. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Freddy Drake. So, all right. So, radius 1. So, how big is a cone for a tennis thingy? This big. So, what is this? What is the radius? This 0.1. Right. And how tall it is? 0.3. And the radius on the top is something like 0.02 centimeters. Okay. And then we're gonna kind of move it. Location, hold on. We can kind of move it here, I think. So this is gonna be 0.1. Nope. Nope. Ah! So this is 0.1. Why I lost the tool? Why I lost the tool? It's gone forever, I think. I think it's gone forever. Oh, fuck it. I'm gonna move it to my hand. Okay. The problem is that can I? Okay. Again. So, mesh, cone. Oh, it's nice that it remembers. So, because I said 0.3. Okay, that's why it didn't work. 1.5. Boom. There you go. Okay. That's good. So what I was saying is that the top radius is not good. That probably more like it, right? Okay. Right. And then what we can do is we can add a box, a cube, right? And now our cube is going to be there is no way that I can create. I have to scale it. I have to scale it to those primarily accessible creation, but there is no way to create something that I can set the 3 sizes. No, I have to scale it. I have to die. All right. Okay. So scale. So probably it's easier to say that the size is 1, and then I can put in the scale what I want, right? So 0.25, 0.25, and 0.02. Yeah. Okay. And how I pan? Yeah. Okay. And now, is there any magic thing that is gonna? But I think I can live with this. I think I can live with this. This is totally livable. The only thing is I need to raise it by 1 centimeter, I think. Yeah. Okay. And then we can also raise this guy by another centimeter. 0 by 2, so 17. Nope. Hold on. I think I can do it by hand easily. Is that some kind of snap to grid? Must be. There you go. That's our snap to grid. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. Look at me. What an artist. Don't forget to apply the scale. I know that there is some kind of apply transforms, but I don't know how to do it. There was some magic thing that you have to do. Control A. Control A. I need to apply the transforms, the scale. Control A. I got help from the Control A. Apply all transforms. Good. Control A. Apply all transform. Many object apply. Menu. Object. Apply. Okay. So yeah. Control A. All right. Okay. Cool. Cool. We need the material. We need the material. So material, new material. This is going to be a very difficult material that is white. White. Oh, I crashed Blender. I cannot believe this. I crashed it. Oh. All right. Is this already white? No, it's almost white. I want it all white. Right? And roughness kind of there. Okay. And is the material applied or I need to do this? No, that's it, right? So that's the material there. And here are the material slot? No. Material 1. Okay. How I change the name of the material? Object name. No, the name of the material here. Right? Yeah. White plastic. Nice. Okay. So let's save this in tennis. Props. Cone. And I suppose this is not going to be. How we smooth these normals? Object. I have a feeling that this is with faces like this, the normal shade smooth, auto smooth. Boom. Boom. There you go. Okay. Cool. Save. And then we export as GLTF in the same place. Cone. Okay. What we include? We include everything. That's good. That's all good. That's it. All right. So just games, P2A, content, tennis, props, Kun GLB. Here it is. I think these are not. Yeah, it's just the effect of the shadows. I don't think there is much we can do about it. All right. And that means that we can go here, white plastic, and eventually we can change it to whatever color we want. Still not great. I mean, eventually Chucks will fix this properly. You know, it should have a hole here or something. And this should be round. Should be a little bit more cute than this. But we can live with this. All right. So, now that we have the prop, we need to define. So, this training trait is going to be really, really interesting. It's going to do a lot of interesting stuff. Oh no, Stefano, putting 3D models out of business. I should have done it with AI. Is there a AI mesh, 3D mesh generator? Is there something that I can try quickly for free without Meshly? Is this, I have to log in? Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I'm good. All right. So this training trait, what we're going to do is, I think we're going to do on init scene. Right? It's going to be, do we need to mutate ourselves? I don't think we need to mutate ourselves, but we're going to need a lot of stuff. We're going to need a scene. We're going to need a texture store. And we're going to need a renderer. And let's see, let's say that by default, we don't do anything with this stuff. Okay. So let's see how this would work here. Let's put it in Rally. AI is good because it also the sound of the screams I make when I try to use it. If I as a programmer want to feel really stupid, I open a graphic program. That's so true. That's exactly what happened. All right, so what do we want to do here? Do we want to be at this level of stupidity? Because realistically, what is... I don't think this is a good way to go about this. Because I think we should go in a more... Yeah, I don't think this is... I think this is really stupid. Hold on. We're going in a stupid direction. It's okay in its scene, but I don't think we should load models and deal with the renderer. No. What we should have, we should have a tennis scene manager or something. Tennis scene, right? And this tennis scene is going to be a dynamic, mutable tennis scene trait. Mute must proceed. Right. And this trait, tennis scene trait, should have add cone. Or even better, right? We should have some kind of, you know, pub in tennis prop, right? Where tennis prop is, you know, a cone of a color. Right, so we will have a function that is called add prop. And the prop is gonna be a tennis prop. And then it's gonna have matrix. Right? It's much better like this. It's much better like this. Because then it means that when we start our thing here, right? So this is different now. Right? So our scene is gonna do tennis scene, add prop, tennis prop cone, right? Of colors red, right? And map from position, and we're gonna add it. We're gonna add it. We're gonna add it at 0, 0 quartz service line, right? Sounds reasonable. Okay, so now the idea is that this tennis level, and this is the only, but we should be able to do this. So this tennis level needs now to implement that. But this is really tricky. This is really tricky. Because it cannot be the tennis level. I think the match avatar is the right place to do this thing. So the match avatar is our tennis scene trait, right? So implement sim, no, what is it? Training, tennis, no, scene trait for match avatar, right? Okay, good. So now the match avatar can start populating the props. The only problem that we have is that color on the material. That color on the material is not easy, because in order to do that color, I know what we do. we change it one more time. So init scene, instead of this nonsense, so instead of having this trait, so let's get rid of this trait. And in order to do this is that init scene is going to simply return a vector of tennis props. Right, so this is gonna be a tennis prop kind, right? Struct tennis prop, right? And this is going to be, it's going to have a matrix, right? And it's going to be prop kind, tennis prop kind. Right, and we're going to return this. Much more clean, right? So we don't need all this shit here, right? And the default implementation is just going to return an empty vector. And our implementation here now, it's even simpler because basically it's going to return a vector of tennis prop, where is the matrix, and this is the prop. All right, that to me looks like, and now I can do whatever I want, basically. So I don't have to implement any trait at all, right? Right. So now what I can do, in theory, I could already send it to the match avatar, right? So to the match avatar, I can send props as a training tennis prop. Oh shit, I'm wrong. It's court avatar. It's where I want this. I was thinking like, what's going on here? It's court avatar. No, it's match avatar. It's match avatar. It was correct. All right, okay. So, how are we gonna do this? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it in a very stupid way, right? Because what we can do, obviously, is let's say that we spawn 10 cones. We can load 10 cones, right? That's not ideal, but who cares, right? We can optimize later. So for p in props, okay, so we can match on p kind. What kind of prop is this? Right, at the moment it can only be this. Right, so we're going to do let model data, so we have to do the entire thing. Model data bang is load gltf content tennis props cone glb. What else you want? With persistence, yes, please. Okay. And unwrap brutally. All right. And then we create the model. So let model, so we have a model ID and a model, and we go scene models, no, scene create model, model data, and text store. That's it. RDR. Okay, RDR. Okay, but we need to do something. We need to change the material. So model data, materials 0, set var, base color, shader var value float for color to array. It's so ugly. This method takes 3 arguments, yes. And it's so ugly, it's incredible. I mean, it's really ugly. But that's pretty much it, I think. So that will create it. So if that's all we want, that will create it. Okay, we need the props. So, okay, so in order to do the props, what are we going to do here? Let me remember how this works. So we do the, I think we do the props before. I mean, we can use that. So let props equal match data. All right. We have to match on it. It's not really that much. Yeah. Match on match data, match type. Right. So if it is a match, we have no props. And if it is a training, we do init scene. We could probably rename it init scene props. And then we pass the props. better reference to tennis props. Yes. There you go. All right. Okay. It needs a little bit of cleaning up. But until I see the training starts. So in theory, okay. We didn't put the prop. So I think it was created, but it's in court 1, isn't it? There it is. That's our prop. So first of all, the position is wrong because we didn't set it. The color was correct. Okay, so we need to do a couple of stuff. So we need to set the position. Right. So model set matrix. P matrix. Okay, that's easy. And the other thing, though, we need to get that matrix, right? Multiplied by the data, by the court matrix. That's why I wanted it to be in the match avatar, right? Because we needed this court matrix. So if the order of this matrix multiplication is correct, we should see it appearing in court 2 in the right place. Yeah, it is. There you go. There you go. That's our prop. Looks quite ugly. Okay. I'm really scared about this. Because that's a lot of stuff to implement. Let's do something. Let's add the training type there. So we have our mesh type. And let's add a training type, none and rally. So that's going to look like that. Okay. And now the idea here is that in the launcher, launcher. In the launcher, what we can do before, what is it? Before we render the form, what we can do is if self form spinner sp match type selected the index is 0. So if we are in training, then self form spinner mute. How we call that? Did we put a name? We didn't, right? So training type, yeah. Training type unwrap base visible something like this. Is the borrow checker happy about this? Should be. Yeah. All right. So if this works, so training, and then if we go to match, it doesn't work. Is it because I didn't write this code? Yeah. I didn't write the code for visibility. Render. Blah 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 blah. Widgets, ether mute, filter. What? Filter. Shit. I think I need a. I think this should not be. Hold on. Ah, this is so annoying. This is so annoying. It's so bad. This is so bad. I don't like. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm just realized that AI is the Sims for developers. I'm really not happy. It works, but I'm not happy. It's so verbose. It's incredibly verbose. Let's make sure that we don't get any cone. Yeah, we don't get any cone. So we're good. All right. So let's commit this training props creation step 1. And I think that should be the correct name for this thing. Instead of tennis props, they should really be training prop. Training prop. Training prop kind. And this could become something like that. So the next thing that we're going to do, which is the thing that I was really not super convinced, is to create another training mode right, where we're gonna do so we're gonna let's start with this one. Okay. So let's call it training drill. Okay. Drill. So now we have a new tennis drill, a new tennis training type, right? So if I go to training, I can get to drill, but we don't have the logic for this. So we're probably going to crash, I think. No. So what the hell did it load? Is it just default to something? Launcher. Did it just default to... Ah, okay, it's always creating this one. Hey, Badaffi. Badaffi, you remember Badaffi, Melo? Great, great. Yeah, I changed sport. Yes. Yes, I changed sport. How you doing? So this one we need to be a little bit smarter here. So how are we going to do this? I think the best way to do this is to go here, match type training. And we could have some kind of function training from string, right? That where we could pass the training kind or something like that, which is a string, right? And we return a self, a match type, right? So then we match on kind and we go like, if it is none, we return match type training, right? We do all this dance that we're doing this that I was saying that I'm not happy about. None. Right? Then if it is rally, go with rally. Right? And if it is drill, we go with drill. Right? And everything else is like, no, fuck you. Panic. Training kind. Invalid. Invalid kind. Alright. Fair enough. So now here, if it is like this, what we're going to do, we're going to do match type, training from string, and self form spinner training kind, unwrap let me create a method here. So a spinner pub text self, and we return a string, and we return self items self selected index. There you go. Text. That's actually very pretty. That works pretty well. Okay. So let me just check 1 second, because I'm scared that our UI mem now is fucked up. UI mem ini. So it still says rally. Save. Okay. All right. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. I don't know where we are exactly. So training, drill, start, and we crash. All right. What's wrong? Let's see. Training kind is not how we call that that thing. Training type, right? We're trying to go with this kind instead of type, so let's change it. Training, drill. Okay, we start and we should be in a mode where we have the cone and nothing happens. So the ball doesn't get thrown. So this is a mode that for now is nothing, doesn't do anything. Good. That's good. All right. Training kind drill. Okay. Load. Okay, this one, now we can change it, right? So if it is this, what we can do is X, and we do match type training from string X. Which is very cute. It should give us still, this one is still not working. It still doesn't know. What is happening is that it still doesn't know how to go to that, to this one, right? Yes, because we are not changing the sub thing, right? So definitely is 0, but we also need to change the other one. The problem is that we cannot change the other one. We have to do it after. So we cannot change the other one. So we have to do it again here. So we have to do again match, or we could do it like this. So we can do this. Okay. And then we have to set the other thing, and I think we need a new method. So we need some kind of form. So this SP training kind, we need some kind of set from text or something like that, or set text or something like that, right? And we put training in a description, right? So we need to create this generate set method. So this method does this, does self-selected index is going to be self items iter enum enumerate find I this equal what is items? It's a vector of yes, okay, sorry. So item, right, to make it really obvious, item equals name or text, right? Then we unwrap or can I do this 0 and then we return 0? And not because I need to fucking hell. How I do this? How I do this? Some I. Look at this. All right, that works. Yeah. I mean, is it? What's the alternative to this? The alternative to this, just for fun. So the alternative in something like Jai would be like for I and item. So for it and item in self items iter enumerate would be like if. So item is going to be something like no, item is item. Okay, so item text self-selected index equal it and return break. Right. That's so. Which way, man, white man? Which way? This or this? Must be a better way to do this. I don't remember which library I used to render the mesh. No library. I use back in DirectX. It was my engine. Back in Hydrofall generation, it was my engine with DirectX 11. This time is my engine with Vulkan. The game seems already almost finished. I wish. How you doing, Nike? Top, right? This one is like, all right. It's very obvious. It's just a function that already tells you what, if in 3 months I come here and go like, what the hell is going on? Right? This one is like, okay, I see what you're doing. Oh. Unless there is an easier way to find the index of, Rust find index of value. Maybe there is. There you go. See? It's because I'm ignorant. You're ignorant, right? So now the real alternative is self-selected index is self items iter position. You see, position of the item where item equal text. I'm still not right, and then it's gonna be and then unwrap or 0. Now this, that's cute. Okay, well done, Rust. Second option if you never want to debug it. Yeah, this one is like, and I have a feeling that I'm doing that ugly thing somewhere else. So I really need to remember this position thing. It's very, very useful. Very, very useful. All right. So now that we've done this, is it going to work? So I think it is going to work. So let's see. So what we expect is to see. It's not a good start. Training drill start. Did I? Okay. Is it wrong? Did I put it the wrong way? Training and match. Okay. Yeah, it's wrong. All right, so this is 0 and this is 1. Right. All right, we're back here. Okay, so match, start a match. Just make sure that if we start a match, we come back and it's match. Cool. Now, the only thing that I'm not 100% sure is that obviously right now we're not saving our last drill, right? It's that information is lost. And I think it comes down really to one problem is, and it's the fact that I'm trying to reuse that match data. That the match data has that object, trait object with the logic of the training. That could be something that hurt us in the future. But for now, let's continue. So when we train, one thing that we need to have is basically, so let's go into training mode, right? So when we train and we have a training session of drills, is going to be, for now, so it's going to be either a coach. So in this game, we're going to have a coach, and the coach is going to be a dude. And the dude is going to have a love relationship with the girls. Is it? We will have romance between the coach and the girls? No? It's unprofessional. That's harassment. All right, so the training, is either going to be the coach or is going to be the ball machine. My comment is based on doing something similar things in Java. No, but I totally understand. You know, when you write those kind of one-liners, they have to be so expressive of what you're doing that, you know, you don't need to debug them. You just step over and you don't need to debug them. RenderX, hi there. So what I was saying is that it's either going to be a dude or it's going to be the ball machine. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not going to be the other girl, right? So I'm thinking is if the ball machine is just another player, but that could be really difficult. Hey Pasquale, thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Ciao ciao ciao. What are we cooking here? We're cooking a tennis game with anime girls. Ciao. Right. So what would it take to have a player avatar? So what we got here? We got animations, because this is really like expecting. Is expecting a player, is expecting, especially all the animation system is expecting the animations to be called what they have to be called, right? So I think we need to have an option to just hide. So this could be acceptable for a coach, right? So I still have a feeling that I might need a separate completely separate thing for a coach. Okay, it's not really a player. But a coach could be a player. But it also means that it's more work for the graphic artists, right? Because they will have to do the model of the dude. Yeah, animate, retarget, right? It's another model to manage with all the animation that we can possibly have. The ball machine, on the other hand, okay, let's start easy. Let's start to say that we might be in a situation where we don't want this player to be visible. Right. So in our player data, I think it's that clean to do it as a player control mode. I was thinking to put like invisible, what is not a control mode. It's what we are really trying to say is that the player is not there. The problem is that it should be the training to set this thing up. Now, the training cannot really change the match data because it's part of the match data, so it cannot change itself. Ah, okay, here. We have it already. Okay, so that's our solution, right? So, okay, so all I have to do is in this player data. So in player data, okay, let's do it this way. Let's go visible. Okay. Right. For now, the only place where we create players is here, so it's easy to say true and true. Okay. So what we can do is that in a training mode here, we can say players 1 data visible false. Okay. Now you would think that it's easy to stop a model from being visible, but I don't think in model I have this concept, but it's easy to add. I think, I have it visible. I don't know if it is attached. So, okay, so that's easy. That's easy. So all we need to do now, the problem is that that's the data from, so yeah. Okay, so our match state need to have that information. So match state, in player state, we need to have the visibility. Yeah, we need to have the visibility. So pub visible bool. Okay. So player state. Okay. It's coming together. Visible is self data visible. Okay. All good. So now in player avatar, when we go to update with the match state, all we need to do is we could waste all our time. At the end of this, we could say, we have the model, right? Model, yeah. We could say visible is player visible. That should work, right? That should work. Is this game going to have a multiplayer? No. Okay, and I'm gonna... Okay, it works. It works. Straight away, it works. She's gone. She's gone out of my life. Okay, so we're not gonna have multiplayer. Why we're not gonna have multiplayer? My last game... Okay, first of all, the super easy answer is that I'm the only programmer working on it, right? So I can't do the two things, right? So I cannot do the single player and the multiplayer. Otherwise, it's gonna take me a lot more time than I want. Now, my last game, Hydrofall Generation, was basically multiplayer only, right? You could practice in single player, but if you wanted to race, it was a selling game. It is a selling game. It's still on sale. You can still go on Steam and buy my game, please. So the problem when you do a game that is multiplayer only is that unless the player can reach that critical mass of people playing it, it basically becomes a self-destruct button, right? Because what is happening is that people buy, they want to play, they go online, they don't find anybody, they go on Steam, they put a negative review. People read the negative review, they don't buy it, and it's just become a circle. And also I've been doing multiplayer games, very multiplayer-oriented games for the last 25 years. So I said, okay, this time I really want to do a single-player game. Yeah. Also, the other thing that makes it really difficult to work on a multiplayer game is that testing becomes really, really hard. Because you need to organize, you need to find a group of people that are willing to help. You need to find the time to get them together and a time that works for everybody. Like, for example, now I'm in Australia. I remember that when I was working with Hydrofall Generation, a lot of the guys that were interested in it were actually from New Zealand and from Australia, because sailing is very popular in New Zealand and Australia. But at the time I was in the Netherlands, so organizing a test was complicated, right? So in the single player game, it means that I can just sit here and just hammer it down by myself. Obviously, at a certain point I'm going to need beta testing, but it's just an easier problem than multiplayer. You should have the ability to raise both. Yes. The problem is that, especially for a selling game, it's an incredibly complex thing to do, right? So you're basically adding maybe a year or more of work to the game, right? So it's time is money, right? So you're gonna be working on your game one more year to add. Same thing with this, right? If I want to add multiplayer, probably it's going to take me 1 more year, you know, to do it. So it's always my money. Tennis is best to have split screen. Yeah. Yeah, obviously, I mean, tennis, you can also play. You don't even need a split screen. You can. Yeah, the only thing that you need to accept is that, you know, one player is going to be on the top. Especially, yeah, right now for this game, it's not really going to work, right? Because we have this kind of behind the shoulder camera, right? So so this is like also something else that we're trying to do differently from other tennis games, where in other tennis game, you will have a camera that is kind of fixed in this position, right? And the player moves. Right? While what we're doing here is this, which I really like the first time that I tried. First of all, I like because it's different. It feels more personal. I really like how it feels when you go at the net, right? It feels like you're there. You know, it really feels like you're playing. Right? One interesting thing that is going to happen in the future, once, you know, I will work on the net stuff, is that imagine a situation where we're here and, you know, we're getting past. So the ball is going this way. The only way that we're going to know that the ball is out is by hearing the call out. Right? That would be one way. The other thing that I was thinking is that perhaps if we are at the net, so if we are far enough here, you know, I could rotate the camera around. So this kind of, you know, rotate around so you can see where the ball went. But yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really know. All right. Okay. So we added this ability to delete the player. That's good. I'm actually getting pretty tired. I'll do it. So it's only 6:30. I've been working for 2 hours, 20 minutes. All right. Let's add another couple of props. It's quite a noisy way to do this, right? Let's do something like let's do some kind of function like cone red, right? And we just pass a position in. And you know what? We can actually even pass like X. No, let's pass a position because I think it's right. And then we do this, right? And what we do is all this noisy code. Right? And cone yellow. And cone green. Right? So this code down here now becomes, instead of all this noise, becomes cone red at this position. Right? much better. I don't like how the auto formatter is formatting this, to be honest, but we can live with this. All right, so what we want to do, we want to set up a bunch of, what's going on here? Okay, this, now I like it. So what we want to do, we want to set up somewhere. So chord, what's wrong with you? Half width. So something like this. And make sense? Makes sense. That's not what I was expecting. That is not what I was expecting. Chord, half length. And you see that now I'm using the no launcher option, so we are going straight into the game without passing for the thing. All right, that's how it looks like. Okay. All right, so now the idea is that we got these two cones here. So we're trying to define our target, right? Where we want to, when we want the coach to, when we want to hit the ball here. This is a little bit too noisy. Let me change it into a back 2. So we try to remove a little bit of noise. I want you to make it really easy to do this stuff. All right. Okay. And I wonder if I could, instead of having this chord half length, I can actually treat it. So the idea is that I could do like this. Right? And when we go here, I can do this multiplied by vector 2, vector 3, where we have chord half width, right? 1 or 0, and chord half length. Right? The problem is that I have to fucking I have to redo this shit. Normalize or boss, something like that, position back 2, and we return back 3F. So we're basically doing this. All right. All right. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good actually with the like this. I think. Okay, so I'm not asking too much, basically. I'm asking to get the ball in here. I probably could be only one cone. Oh, we can actually make it really like obvious what we want to do, like this, right? So this becomes blah blah blah. This becomes 1, 1, right? So if we want to really show the player, okay, that's where you need to put the ball. Yeah, perfect, like that. Yeah, okay. Cute. Okay, so now we do the so how was the thing to start the, so this is the step, okay. So in the step we do the feeding with the same logic, right? So we feed the ball after 4 bounds. Right? So we feed the ball and I have to hit in the way. There is I was like, what's going on? Is the player is still there. The AI player is still there. I was like, what the hell is going on? Okay. So I think now in the player control mode, we could have a none. Right? Nothing. Right? So now it makes sense to have none. So when we have this, player control mode none, we just return what we need to return. Player input default. Okay, and then what's going on here? Toggle AI. Okay. This should work. Let's see. Still there. Ah, yes, because I didn't set it, right? Okay, so here, when the stuff starts, where was it? Here, right? Players 1, data, control mode, player control mode none. All right. Okay, we can see already how difficult it is. Okay, and now what we can do, what we can do, I really should add the numbers. What we can do is also have some kind of score. Right, so how we gonna do the score? I think we're gonna do it if ball events bounce is sum. So if the ball bounced and ball bounce count is 1. Whoops. Okay. We can check if the ball is where we want it. I have a feeling that in court we could really use a function that does that transform that we were doing in the props. This court position, I think it should really be in court, where, you know, the question is how we're going to call them. Could be like norm to court position, right? And we could go the opposite way. Court. So let's, obviously it's a court position because we are in court, right? So we could do norm to pos and pos to norm. Okay. Right, so basically, so this is doing exactly what we, so this kind of normalized position, right, where 1 means the end of the court, either in length or in laterally. 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1. Okay, so makes sense, right? So pos to norm is going to be pos xy divided by vector 2 court of width and court of length. Right? Makes sense. So now we will have a thing here that we need to rename, because this is not this anymore. Now it's court, and we need to make it public. So this now is called norm to pos. That's how it works. Okay. Why is she sliding when you hold? Okay. Yeah, good question. Well, the quick question is that the quick answer is that there's going to be an animation of preparing and then, you know, kind of moving with the feet when that happens. What we're doing, we're basically slowly adjusting to the optimal distance from the ball. Because the way the game works is that the moment I play, I prepare for the shot, I don't move the character anymore, but I start to move what is the target for the shot, right? So the moment I'm preparing, right, I cannot move the character anymore. So that sliding is happening automatically, is auto-adjusting automatically. And so we're gonna have an animation for that. For while she's preparing, she's also moving the feet, you know, doing small step to get in position. Maybe because at the moment the quality of the ball is completely defined by my timing, right? So if I hit the ball at the right time, so I have to release to the point that where I'm hitting at the right time. Now, in this version, it's not very clear. In my Godot version, and this is something that I will have to do probably tomorrow because we really need it now. The way I did it in my Godot version, which I'm not really convinced about it, I kind of like it. I like it because it's gamey, you know, but you need to understand that I come from maybe 30 years of doing very serious games. And now I feel like I can probably explore a little bit. Right? So the idea is that you see these numbers? What the AI did there? So that number tells me how good my timing was with the ball. If I can manage to play a bit. The AI is useless. Right? And now the point is that the quality of my shot is completely defined by that timing. Originally, when I first started working on the game, I was also considering the idea that the quality of shot should probably also be the distance, right? So probably shouldn't auto-adjust to be in the right place. So the idea is that if we are too near to the ball, which is a real problem in tennis, if you play tennis, we are too near to the ball, we won't be able to create power, right? Because you need a little bit of space on the arm, right, to create power. Same thing if you are too far from the ball. It's like you can't really create the right amount of power. So it could be that I will get rid of the auto-adjust, you know, or it could be that, you know, at the moment it's moving slowly compared to how fast you can run. So we'll see. I have to try. So you move from Godot to your own engine in Rust. That's correct. Actually, I wrote this game 3 times. I wrote it first in another language called Jai with my own engine, and then I wrote it in Godot, and then I went back to then I went to Rust. So yeah, only 3. Yeah, make it easy for myself. Okay, so right. So now we have the ability. Once the ball bounces, we can see. So we come here, right? So we can get our norm pos, which is going to be court pos to norm, right? And ball pos is enough. And now, if norm pos x is more than 0.4, more or equal 0.4, and norm pos x is less than 1, right? And norm pos z is more than, what was it, 0.6, and norm pos z is less or equal 1, right? So we can add the concept of score, right? So we could have like, you know, shot counter and good shots. Okay. And here we start obviously from 0 for both. Okay. Obviously this is y because it's now a 2-dimensional thing. So this becomes self good shot plus 1. And we can just do self shot counter plus 1, right? Really, I thought the whole point of Jai is to make it, well, yes, the whole point of Jai is to make game. So yeah, that my original idea was to do it with Jai, but you know, there are reasons that I decided to use Rust. You know, it to me it looks like Rust is a better match to what I like, the way I like to code compared to Jai. So still think that Jai is fantastic, but my last game, I use Rust for my last game. So and I'm very happy how it came out. So yeah, I feel more confident using Rust to do this. Okay, so we've done this. I think the next thing to do, so what we can do is, for now, we can just print this. Okay. Right. Drill score. Right. We can do like, right. And we can also do like a percentage. Right. So self good shots, self shot counter, and we can calculate the percentage. So the percentage is going to be self good shot as F32 divided by self shot counted as F32 multiplied by 100. All this as U32. All right, so that's how it's gonna show in the log now. And then we're gonna do the UI and then I'm done. All right, so let's have a look. I don't see, it's not working. It's not working. So why is not working? For sure we're calling that. So the only reason why it might be not working is that we're calling it before the ball. And here it is, our answer. Still, you know, we should still get the event. So when do we reset? Ah, yes, because we reset the events. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. That's our problem. So, all right. So we need to move this. Training step. We need to move this after the ball. All right, this should work. Yeah, there's score 0/3. Okay, that's not. It's not correct. All right, all right. Okay. Then I got a couple of problems, right? So the other thing that we need to check is ball shot counter should be more than 1, I think. I think so. Still, I have a feeling that we are not resetting this shot counter. Yeah, we need to reset the shot counter, I think, when we start this. Yeah. All right. So ball hit, shot counter goes up. So ball shot counter is 0. So that's is gonna become 1. Okay, that's gonna work. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. So 0%. 0%. I didn't even. Okay, so it looks to me like it's broken. This is good. Okay, so it's not working. All right, it's not working. So why is not working? Right, this is why it's not working. Let's try again. Okay, 100%. Cool, let's go. 100%. Cool, it's working. let's add a UI. So for now, it's going to be just a debug UI. So what we're going to do is fn render UI, right? And we're going to pass in IAM GUI UI. Okay. With the default implementation, it doesn't do anything. Okay. Okay, and here we go. Render debug UI. So that's it. UI window, blah 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 blah. So that's what we need to do. So in the tennis, so we need to do self sim data match type. So we have to do match on this. Right? And if it is a match, we don't do anything. If it is a training, we do training trait render UI, and we pass the UI. Fair enough. So down here, we do the UI, and we call it training drill. Okay. For what? And for now, we put nothing in it. We could put score straight away. So we could put basically this thing here. Right, exactly what we do there. What am I missing? Parents. All right. So now every training mode will have the ability to print its own UI, whatever it is, whatever that's going to be. So now we have this, right, with the score, right, and we can see it in real time. %. Oh my God, 25%. Come on. Ah, that was good. We should get some kind of feedback when it's correct. And I think we're going to do it tomorrow when I'm going to put the text on the screen, similar to what happened in Godot, and go from there. See how it works. So the idea is that now obviously this is a very boring training, but you can imagine that when you started with the game and you try to understand, okay, that's how the timing works. So if you just keep hammering this over and over, right, until you get it right with the timing. And the concept is going to be like, probably is going to be something like a weekly thing. So I still don't know if we should have, because the idea is that maybe we can have like 1 week of training and 1 week of tournament, right? And this is going to be interesting because a tournament is potentially 4 or 5 matches, right? So if you win the tournament, it's going to be 4 or 5 matches. So potentially you could be playing like 4 or 5 matches once you're good, and then 1 session of training. So basically we're going to do like, okay, what do you want to concentrate on this week? And you're going to be doing a training. So you're not going to, it's only going to be 1 session. We don't want to hammer the player with training, right? So, okay, I want to make my accuracy on my forehand better. So the coach will figure out what drill you will have to do. And you do this kind of drill, and depending on the score that you have, you either how you say in RPG games, you either level up on that skill that you wanted to improve, right? And then you go to a tournament. So potentially, if you're good, you will play like 4 or 5 matches and then 1 session of training. And then we need to find this balance, right? It's like maybe 1 session of training is not enough, who knows? And the cool thing is, for now, the way I'm thinking about it is that you will be training, but the other girls in that season will also be training. So they will also get better as the game progresses. So you will have so the idea is to have something like, I don't know, 32 or 64 opponents. We need to find a good number to the point where you actually get to recognize them and be like, oh, okay, I play with this girl already. I know how she plays, right? But maybe she trained. Maybe you play with her like 5 tournaments before and she trained, and now, her backhand is not shit anymore. So you cannot rely on that. So that would be cool. So it's going to be this kind of number that it needs to be something that is manageable, that you will be able to actually recognize and remember the girls. And then what could happen, we could do something like, at the end of the season, if you are in the, if you are in the top, whatever, maybe top quarter of your season, you will move to a different division or something like that. Like, so you will level up, to a different division, and you will get the girls that were also in the first quarter higher ranking will move with you, and then we can generate like all the other players from scratch, and you will stay in that season. So you will be like, oh, there will be somebody that maybe you knew, right? And they will be there, something like that. Loot pack. Definitely, I don't think we want to create. The thing that we're still not sure. We still have to figure it out. Is the if we can have like if we can procedurally generate players that are good enough, right? If we can generate them procedurally by changing hair, body type, shot style, clothes, playing style, and so on, then it's going to be really, really cool, because potentially we could create like hundreds of players, different players, and that would be cool. But it comes with the usual problem of procedural generation. That is, you might end up, in that situation where you have a very wide but shallow game where, yes, they are procedurally generated, but they all look and feel the same. So that the alternative to this is to do something that is more similar to what games like Genshin Impact, Dark Knights, and so on do, where they have a defined number of characters. So we could have like a background cast of whatever mediocre players that we generate procedurally, but we might have like, you know, the important opponents that we actually model one by one, and we make them really different, right? Because obviously the way that you can do it with a human intervention is always going to be superior to what you can do procedurally, right? You can buy a finger feather to level up. Yeah, something yellow, green, depending. Yeah, I was thinking to have some kind of, you know, obviously I like this. We could either get a thing. I don't know. We could get the coach saying good, you know, or you suck. I don't know. We will see. You know, for now, it's a good progress for today. We have a first idea of how this thing is going to work. There is an old joke that no matter how good of a tennis player you are, you will never beat a wall. Maybe in the last level you play against the wall. Yeah. That sounds very cool. I have memory of a game Minicar where there were like 8 seasons and the first 4 player promoted sometimes is promoted. Sometimes AI struggled in one league but was good in another. Yeah. The other huge problem when it comes to procedural generation is testing becomes a nightmare, right? Because either you have to go with the concept of seeds, right, where you have a known seed, so everybody will realistically come up with the same stuff, even if it's procedural. But obviously it's nice, the idea that you can start a new season. Maybe you can probably, you know, if procedural generation works well, then probably we could totally have a manual seed when you start a new game, right? So you could start and say, okay, my seed is this. So if your friend plays, he will see the same girls. He will see the same names. They will look the same. They will play the same. Whether or not they will evolve the same, I don't know, but probably it's not that difficult. I just have to use different random generator numbers if I want to do something that has to be seedable or something that is part of the game where you want it more random. But it's definitely doable, and that would be interesting. But we really need to see where we can get with the procedural generation of the character. I have no idea. So we will see. All right, I think we have, like, you know, first rough cut of training mode. So we covered quite a bit of ground today, because, you know, training obviously is still there in my to-do list. I can delete this thing. So my to-do list really doesn't change. And actually we should add, and it's probably my thing for tomorrow, is UI for shot feedback, right? For shot quality feedback. And it's probably what I'm going to work tomorrow, to get a better idea of the quality of the shots. Right. That was good. That was a good stream. Thanks everybody, guys, and I'll probably see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same beach. Bye bye.